Hello everyone and welcome to the live trading room recap for Friday, April the 21st. My name is Barry Anderson, the moderator of your trading room. This is the address to get into the room, and the room is open between 9 a.m. and up to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, all right? I know I had a question, somebody came in yesterday around 3:35 and we were closed, so I will stick around to 4 if I have a lot of questions, but typically I will shut the room down around 3:30. All right. Well, let's say kind of a quiet day in terms of the number of trades I took, but this one turned out to be not too bad. This is actually one from Holly Delt. The alert came at. Let me just click on it before I do that. I always forget. I'm going to have to change the default here and get symbol linking as a default. Here we go. Okay. Now. The alert came at right there. See the blue arrow? And actually, this is covered up, but right under, you can just maybe see a sliver of blue underneath at 191. That was the actual alert price, 191 for Delt. Now, I waited on this a lot, and I was commenting in the room, these topping tails, topping tails, topping tails. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, you can see them, I'm sure. But what it means is that, the buyers kept trying to move this up and the sellers would knock it down, and there's where it would close. The same thing, the buyers would move it up, the sellers would knock it down. Buyers would move it up, sellers knock it down. That happened 4 5-minute candles in a row, which for me does not give me a lot of confidence to go long because, every time the buyers it seem like they're in control, the sellers take over. However, at this point, right there, I decided, okay, enough was enough. And I ended up taking the trade at 212. Got in right here. Markup. And then that's when it finally started to move. And I'd love to say I got out right at the high. Not exactly. I sold some at 222. And then on the way back down at 222, and then basically flat. So, I mean, it wasn't an incredibly great trade on a percentage basis, though. 222. Sorry, from 212 to 222, which works out to, almost 4.7% in a very, very short period of time. I'll take that sort of trade all day long. One of the reasons, if you take a look on the daily chart, back this out a little bit, it had some incredible activity back in, let's see, January 19th earlier this year, where it spiked up to that point. And look what it did. It basically got right up to, I actually think if I go back further, though, yeah, go back further, you can see on last July. I mean, had a really crazy day all the way to 314. So, the potential was there. It's a super low float, 2.21 million in the float. So, I mean, these are the sort of moves that you can look at. But if I were looking at the daily right now, this does not inspire confidence at all because there's no, every time that, even on the daily chart, look at all the topping tails. Every time the buyers really try to get some traction, the sellers keep knocking it down. But for an intraday trade, I'll take that any day of the week. And let's see. Now, the other one really of interest, still in this one, don't have a lot left, but this is this PPC. Now, we started watching, this came on my evening scan actually a little bit early, and I just couldn't, I just didn't get into it, unfortunately. Probably there's a little entry there that I could have got, maybe a little one there, on and on and on. However, I finally decided to take this one over 25. Now, even though, it looked like a bit of a chase, but from my point of view, it was holding 25 very well. And so I ended up taking the trade at 25.17. And with a fairly tight stop on it, basically a 17-cent stop, I would not let it get below 25 if I could. And this is just, look at the volume. I mean, this is kind of the interesting part for me. Here you have obviously had great volume here, 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 and this is on the move up. And a lot of people would think, well, it's so extended. How can it keep going? But then look at the volume that started coming in still, and this kept moving this up. And now here on, it almost got through 26. And take a look at the daily chart. Back it out just a little bit. So this is what we're seeing, and I was wondering if it was going to be able to get through this level right there. And notice how it has got right to that level. And then after that, if it does get through 26, I mean, it still has room to move. Now, one of the things that happened, and I don't know if it's just stalled because it got up to that 26, but this candle right there really corresponded with, I think, what was happening with the SPY. All of a sudden, the SPY took a big downturn, and I think that that's what happened there. Now it's holding. Look at the SPY. I mean, it really was moving down, and that kind of, I think, may have had an effect on this. Anyway, I have sold some out along the way, and I'm just trying to hold on to see if it can maybe get back over 25 or 26. If not, I've definitely was a better trade than I expected. I actually was in this only for maybe a 20-cent scalp, and I was out at got out some at 25.59, some at 25, I think 35-ish and all. And unfortunately, I missed this top right there. I was really thinking, okay, you get through 26, and we can still have this run in it. But anyway, I definitely a nice little trade, and a lot of us in the room are in this trade. So, and probably a lot of rumors. Sanderson, I think SAFM. I think the rumor. I don't know if it's. I don't know what stage the rumor's at, but I think that they're in talks with them, perhaps. So, when somebody asked me, would I hold this one overnight? Um, if I guess if it got over 26 and it stabilized over 26, there's a possibility I'd hold my last piece. The only problem I have with a stock like this is that because it is so probably rumor intensive, all that has to happen is somebody to say, the deal's off, or and that of course will just send it crashing down. That can happen to any stock. Of course, we realize that, and any stock can have news, but this is definitely rumor laden. So that may be that may be a reason why I wouldn't do it. All right. Well, a quick video, and itching to get back into the room. And we do have this promo, another 20% off. Basically, once that spring or the test drive ended on Wednesday, we decided to have a promo for anybody who was involved in it, and of course anybody who was new as a guest in the room, and other people, of course, too. So it is 20% off. It ends Monday night, 11:59 Eastern Daylight Time, PM, Eastern Time, all right, Monday night. And it is 20% off, and that's off your first year or your first month. So you take your pick. And so I hope everybody has a great weekend. I will be in the room, of course, opening the room at about 8:45, 10 to 9. That's when I'll open the room, and then I get live on the mic at about 9. And again, you just 100% free. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas. This weekend could be a little bit interesting, of course. The French elections are on, and everybody's probably waiting to see what happens with bated breath on that one. Could be a very contentious one. So anyway, we'll see what happens and how that affects the market on Monday. All right, so everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning. Bye-bye.